of Millionaires Are Made, where we believe you can grow and be a millionaire in all 6 aspects of health. That's right. We share tips every week to improve your physical health, your social health, your mental health, your financial health, your intellectual health, and today we're going to focus on your spiritual health. Our topic is death doulas. If you've never heard of a death doula, or never connected or been with a death doula, this is a show for you. If you've never seen Millionaires Are Made, this is the show built on the fundamental belief that every person you meet knows something you don't, and there's something to learn from everyone in this big, beautiful world. And in the spirit of authenticity to remove as much bias as possible, we do not talk about our tips or advice before the show starts. So all 3 of our guests are going to come on with real advice from their walk and their journey and their life. It's going to be an awesome show. Audience, this is an interactive show. I demand that you ask questions and comment and put them in the chat. We monitor it and we'll ask them live to our audience. So if you have questions about what being a death doula or how to improve your spiritual health, please ask them and we'll get to them on the show. If you're looking to be a guest on our show, we would love to have you. We're sharing the link right now on how to sign up. Everyone knows that you've got something to share. We'd love for you to come share your knowledge and help the world grow into a bigger, more beautiful place. And on the other end, if you are struggling, maybe financially, maybe physically, can't lose those last 5 pounds, or maybe you are feeling a little lost spiritually, let us know. Give us a topic. We will go and we will find 3 awesome guests to give you 3 pieces of advice to help you get through that little hump in life. Whew. And we also always love if you like, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Help us keep going. It's very, very helpful for us. On that note, if you follow us, you have a chance to be shouted out, and to doing that right now. On Facebook, Gabriel Kegson, thank you so much for following us. On Instagram, Balancing Together, you're amazing. TikTok, Andrea Martin, you're amazing. And YouTube, Shattered Addict Writing, you guys are freaking awesome. Thanks for following us. If you want to be shouted out in our next episode, go follow us. Oh, man, where are we at? Perfect. One last little thing. I do love to teach and grow everywhere, everyone. I offer free growth consultations. That link's being dropped right now. Feel free to get a one-on-one with me. I love to talk and share. I spend my entire life learning and growing. That's all I do now. It's fantastic. Take advantage. And before we bring on our first guest, we're going to go over our sponsors that help make this entire show possible. First up, we have Kim Groshek, who's a 2-time international best-selling author and speaker, helping CEOs maximize focus, energy, and health with 30-plus years of industry leadership expertise. Also a guest on this episode, so be sure to listen to her. Her website's being dropped right now. Go check it out. Follow her on Insta, like it, all that fun stuff. Next, we have Samir Dasani, who is a certified health and nutrition coach specializing in the prevention and reversal of chronic diseases. It's crazy the amount of chronic diseases that are no longer chronic when you talk to Samir. He's getting his PhD also in anthropology and speaks 11 languages and plays musical instruments. Crazy man. Go follow him. Check him out. Learn all about him. Our next sponsor is Craig Satkovsky, who is a human behaviorist and a mentor who focuses and helps entrepreneurs discover their true identity and purpose and achieve growth in business and life. Go check Craig out. And our final sponsor for this episode is Amanda Cullum, who's passionate about holistic health, combining science, faith, and frequency-charged nutrition to help others stay calm, aligned, and thrive. Go check Amanda out, say hi, and we will bring out our first guest here. Her name is Megan. Megan, who are you?
Hello, hello. My name is Megan. I am the owner of Graceful Transcendence. I have a practice that helps guide individuals through life's transitions. We focus on healing, empowerment, and really just getting back into the body and learning how to work with our families and our individuals and what we truly want.
All right.
I do. Thank you.
Keep going.
So we offer not only death doula services, we do community events, we do one-on-one coaching, we do workshops, we go in and do a lot of volunteer work at assisted livings and senior centers. So we're a little bit all over the place. So we love it.
We love it. All right, Megan, I've got an important question for you. If I wanted to improve my spiritual health with a death doula, what tiny piece of advice would you give me?
Always check in with your body. So, what that means is when you get that feeling, doesn't matter kind of where you're going into, if you start feeling that tightness in your chest, you start feeling that pit in your stomach, check in with yourself and ask yourself, what am I feeling? How is this affecting me? And be able to kind of be curious with the questions and with the answers that come up with your body, because your body knows and your body will tell you what it needs.
I love it. All right. Your body will tell you. Megan, where on your life journey did you learn this piece of advice?
So I learned this through my own experience, ignoring signs of my body and putting myself in situations where afterwards I was like, oh, well, that pit in my stomach probably meant I shouldn't have done that, or that tightness in my chest kind of meant that there was something, there was a little hesitation there. And, going through and kind of having that real life experience allowed me to pay attention a lot more to exactly what it felt like, and knowing that the tightness was meaning I wasn't supposed to be going down this path. I wasn't supposed to go into this meeting. It helps you discern between different situations and people even.
And people listen to that body. All right. Awesome, Megan. Well, we will move on to our next guest and bring you back out for the round robin at the end. Next up,
Thank you.
we have Kim. Kim, who are you?
Hi, I'm Kim Groshek. I guide people through life's transition. I help executives really overcome analysis paralysis and transform overthinking into expert action for strategic project process. I know that sounds like a mouthful. I've worked in industry for over 35 years, and now I'm actually helping people pause, reflect, and connect with their inner selves, allowing them to embrace transitions not as obstacles, but as opportunities for spiritual growth.
Interesting. What kind of transitions?
Typically, it is any transition. People come to me with any transition, and it isn't just through death, but death is one of them. And I've helped people through the transition of when someone's really sick and moving into that mode of transition. But it could be that it is during empty nest syndrome, or transition in your work where you want to up level or transition out, or it is when you yourself are just going through a major transition of grief after the fact. So there's all kinds of transitions. It's whatever shows up is how I help people transition.
Interesting. Very cool. Very cool, Kim. Well, I've got an important question for you. If I wanted to improve my spiritual health with a death doula, what tiny piece of advice would you give me?
Well, I'm going to tell you, my first piece of advice is pause and breathe. Taking a moment to pause allows you to connect with the present moment, helping you to create space for clarity, peace, and spiritual growth. And in the moments of the pause, you can tap into your inner wisdom and find the guidance, especially during the challenging times.
Awesome. Yeah, that really helped right there. Great tip. Right. Apparently, I needed that right now. Kim, tell us, where on your life journey did you learn this piece of advice?
Well, I actually spent a lifelong learning ever since I was 3 years old when I woke up, as my daughter always tells me. But this is something I have walked people through, like when my sister's son died unexpectedly in his 20s, and I dropped everything and lived with her grief for months to just help her right through that, the talking the talk simply. And that's the biggest thing, is being aware of your learning as you are going through life, because this is a learning journey.
Learning journey. That is definitely what life is. That's
Mm-hmm.
that's awesome. Awesome. All right, Kim. Well, thank you so much. We will move on to our next guest and grab you for the round robin at the end. Next up, we have Ina. Ina,
Hi,
who are you?
Thank you so much for having me here. I'm Ina. I'm originally from Ukraine and live in USA. And I'm a life coach and I do energy work and I work in 26 countries at the moment. I help
Wow.
people who are stuck anywhere, but mostly I work with health. And that's how I became death doula because it's health related. And with anxiety, with children who have ADHD, autism, or any uncomfort in life, financial struggle for adults, relationship struggle. So wherever people feel stuck in life, I have energy work that helps very quickly, like in from 1 to 4 sessions. Usually, people see the results and it helps them to move on to happy and better life.
Wow. All right. So, okay, 26 countries. Anyone, anywhere can take care of this. All right, Ina, tell me this. If I wanted to improve my spiritual health with a death doula, what piece of advice would you give me?
I would say that practicing awareness will bring you new places in your life, and connecting with your four elements is paramount important. This is your mind, your body, your emotions, and your energy. And when you separately work to improve all of those four and then come it all together, make it like all work together, this is where everything starts to flow and feel absolutely phenomenal in life.
So, is this one thing you teach a lot? Is the four elements trying to work in nature?
Yes,
Symbiosis?
yes,
Okay. All right. So, when those four all work together, life is good.
yes. And then life is good. You have to believe that life is good, but that's a part of your mindset. So it's mind, body, emotions, and energy.
Okay. And 1 to 4 sessions with you, and life is good again.
1 to 4 sessions, that aspect of life where you are stuck, that one is good again. You
All right. All right. Just
cannot
trying to clear
guarantee
that up.
guarantees
All
are
right.
not
Where
legally, but you should try.
Very true. Good disclaimer. Where on your life journey did you learn this information, this tip?
So basically, it all came to me, I believe, when I was like 15-year-old, and my parents came to me one day and said, "Listen, Ina, you have this gift of energy because your great grandmother, she was a healer in the town, and it keeps 2 generations, and it goes in a family, in a feminine lineage. So it has to be a girl, a woman." I was like, what? So what should I do now? And they're like, we have no idea because we don't have this gift, but you have to try. So then my friend had a headache and I tried and it helped. And I was like, whoa, I can do that. And then it got much deeper. It's definitely a very spiritual journey. So you start to see things. And I got very scared. And then I shut it off. I asked friends to like kind of close those channels for me. I don't want to do that. And then I came from Ukraine to USA 10 years ago. I was married. I have a child. I have an 11-year-old. And I had to get divorced. Being a very new person in New Jersey, I had absolutely no friends here, barely knew anyone here, and I was in the therapy, and then she suggested that you should try Reiki. And then everything started to just grow and get better. So now I incorporate different schools of energy work. It's not just Reiki, it's so much more. And my gift and everything. So that I think it all came from my family, and I'm forever grateful for sure for that.
Wow. Okay. All right. Anything else you want to add before we move on to the round robin section?
Just sending all the love and good energy to everyone. Thank you.
Of course, of course. All right, well, let's bring Megan and Kim out and let's talk about each other's tips here. Audience, this is a great time to ask any questions you have. Megan, can you quickly refresh what your tip was for us?
Yes, my tip was to check in with your body when you start feeling sensations, when you start feeling, instead of listening to your mind, check in with your body, go inward and ask yourself what is happening, why are you feeling, kind of continue digging and be curious.
Yeah, absolutely love it.
Check in with your body. Okay. All right. Kim, what are your thoughts on her tip?
I think that is absolutely spot on. I have in my entire life, I've actually, when I don't listen to my gut, I always call it my gut instinct, or when I don't
Mhm.
hear the whispers in my ear, that's really the stories people tell me when I'm really pausing and listening to hear, right? When I don't really listen to hear, and then I walk away deciding to not follow that, everything goes chaotic. So I believe that that is one really important factor to include in your life, to always listen to your gut, listen to those people speaking to you and hearing what they say and walking through the fear.
Walking through the fear. I like that. Walking through the fear. All right, Ina, what are your thoughts on Megan's tip? She
Well,
wins. It's all about body.
perfectly aligns with my tip where it's 4 elements. So yes, definitely body is very, very important. I absolutely love it. And the more relaxed you are, the better energy flows through you. So then again, everything just gets better.
Megan, do you believe in 4 elements or just body?
No, absolutely. I think that when you don't check in with your body, it kind of it confuses our mind. Our mind tells us a story. It wants to protect us, and all of your thoughts are not real. They're not true. So going back into your body and checking and making sure I'm having this thought, but my body feels this, allows you to kind of get that clarity that you need, especially when it's things that when you are working towards end of life and you're not exactly sure what you want. Check in with yourself instead of feeding the fear. Check in with the body and see what it is, what sensations feel good, and what's in alignment with you.
Kim, can you refresh what your tip was for us?
Yes, the tiny bit of advice to improve spiritual health. So if you want to improve your spiritual health, especially as a death doula, my first piece of advice would be to pause and breathe, to take a moment to pause, which allows you to connect to the present moment, and it helps you to space for clarity, peace, and spiritual growth. And in those moments, you can tap into your inner wisdom and find guidance through any challenge that you have.
That's powerful. That's
Yeah,
powerful.
it's really beautiful.
Ina, what are your thoughts on her tip?
I love this. I practice this many, many times a day. I do meditations every morning when I wake up to just slow down and breathe. So that's that. Yes, of course. Do you guys
And it's
meditate
funny.
often?
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
Do you guys meditate daily basis or often? How is it with you?
Yes.
I do a gratitude visualization, which I guess is similar to a meditation.
Yeah, one type of that for
But
sure.
I also live here, so whenever the sun sets, there's always like a 30-second pause when I walk out a window, and like I just say I live in a postcard, and so there's definitely a lot of gratitude. There's a lot of gratitude down here. I'll tell you that much. I'll tell you that much. Um, yeah, so it's always funny how this show lines up with my life because we plan all these episodes months in advance, right? Like this episode was probably planned 6 months ago, and it's always just entertaining how like within like 4 days before a show, I don't even like pay attention or like I didn't even know Death Doula was coming up until yesterday. It's just funny how my life aligns so much. And then you guys come on, and then you guys start saying stuff, and I'm like, Jesus, all right. Apparently, I really needed to hear this right now. It's like a slap in the face. This is not. It happens like almost every week. It's wild. It's crazy. All right, Megan, what are your thoughts on Kim's tip?
I think Kim's tip is perfect. Having that pause and that reflection. We get so busy, in our day-to-day life that we're just running around and doing the things and we're not being still and having those moments to sit and really reflect on how we're feeling and what's going on. So that pause is essential, I think, in every aspect. And I love how the universe just aligns what you need and brings it to you. You didn't even know you needed it, and the universe just brought it to you.
It's wild. I feel like we did a spiritual health astrology one, and like the night before was our full moon party and a Virgo party and all this stuff, and I was like, why? It's so weird how all this just aligns up so
Yeah,
often. It's
always.
weird.
That's so
All
cool.
right, we got a
Yes.
question from the audience. Let's do it. Our first one so far this episode. What have you learned about life and death from your experiences as a death doula? Oh, this one could be an entire episode, I feel like.
Yeah, for sure. That's entire episode.
One of you can just take it.
All right, I can totally do that. It was beyond inspiring experience for me to become a death doula. When I was going first time to a client who had few days before she passed away, and she was only 35, and she had a tiny child to live. I was sad, and all of the music in my car seemed to have completely different meaning. Something in every song, something was about life and death. So I did a spiritual healing for her. She felt very, very released, very calm. She fell asleep. It was a beautiful experience. So when I left, I felt so, so happy and inspired that it was like weird to feel happy when you are working as a death doula. So what I learned there about life and death is that it's such a gift to us to have a body to play with, that we just need to do that, to just feel gratitude towards your body, all of the parts of your body every day. Your eyes that can see, mine can see, like if I remove the glasses, I won't be able to say who is from you here. And then your ears, and then your stomach, and all of the parts of your body. Because when we don't have the body, it's a different dimension already. So in life, that's why Megan's tip is so so important and so beautiful as well.
Anyone else want to answer this question?
I
I'd be
do.
happy.
So,
Okay, go for it.
sorry. So I have learned that, death is something that no one really wants to talk about, but we all will experience it within ourselves and with our family. We have one opportunity to make it a beautiful experience. And when you really take time to honor and really look at the individual and really get to love them in that way, whichever way they choose, it is can be a life-changing experience for not only the family, it can be so healing for the individual, and takes away a lot of the fear. There's so much fear in death, but being able to have the open conversations, to be able to speak about exactly what you want by getting in your body and knowing what you want, you can have such a beautiful, beautiful experience with death and really send someone off in the most loving and honoring way. So I have learned to just really cherish that experience. It is awfully sad when we lose someone, but is an opportunity to connect with their spirit and to connect with who the essence of who they were. So it is one of my favorite experiences that I'm so privileged to be a part of.
Well said. I like it. Kim, did you want to add something?
Yeah, I love that. So it really starts with you. And it really is about playing in your body and understanding you and your steps that you go through. So it isn't just the time when you're sitting at that person's deathbed. It is really experiencing and let going of the fear inside of yourself so that you can sit with another person in that space to create the space of whatever it is. So for instance, my mother and father, my mom got really sick just a month ago, and she was giving up. And it's a transition she's going through. She's 82, right? And I asked her, "Are you?" Because she has a routine where she reads the Bible every day. It's just what she does. And I said, "Are you reading the Bible?" And she's at 10 o'clock. It was all this clock, and I knew she was giving up. So what I did, right? Because I'm a doula all the way through. It's not just sitting at the deathbed. I went and called the pastor who I didn't know, and said, "Can you please go visit her and read the Bible and do whatever you communion or whatever you need to do with her, so she can get more reconnected with her spirit again, because she gave up." And a month later, I came back to her, and she was alive again, right? Because he did that. So it's really starts with you to, right? We get to be in this body and experience and let go of all of those heavy emotions. And when we experience that, we actually give the space to teach others to do the same when they're in that situation.
I love it. Well said. Well said. All right. Here's a fun comment for y'all. Good luck. I thought death doulas are some kind of witch. You guys are beautiful. Damn. Who wants to respond first?
Woo!
Thank you.
I love it.
I
I
think,
love to respond first because this is
go ahead.
something that I challenged with myself. I'm an executive. I worked in the executive world for 35 plus years. And oh my goodness, right? I am not woo-woo, or I am not this. And I had to walk through that experience again to let go of the label of what that is, because it's just a label, right? It's a label that we humans have created, and I call it brainwashing, right? We put labels on a lot of things and then we believe it. When, like I said, when I woke up at 3 years old is when I started to get brainwashed by the labels. And I think it's a word that was defined by different groups throughout even before we were born, right? Because there's always a generational. I think one of you had mentioned something about being born into your family, and you are this, and you're standing in it because it's part of the family, the generations of families. And this is before you were born, another generation before that, right? Releasing that healing. So it is truly a label, and that's all it is. And you can pause and let go of that label and redefine it.
All right. Anyone else want to tackle this?
Yeah, I would love to, because lots of my friends and clients, they, I think, some secretly, some not, believe that I am a witch. And then over 20 years ago, 2002, it was when suddenly pretty much all of my friends, without talking to each other from different parts of the country, they started to call me a fairy. That's why I'm in the fae, because it's short for fairy. They were like, because all your dreams come true. We don't know how you do it, but you freaking all the time do it. So we will call you fairy. So it's a very thin line for me there, and it's just funny. And I love that,
That's awesome.
and I absolutely love. There's so about I love working with, I call it epigenetics, with like healing generational traumas, because we really have in the DNA wherever those people in our family lineage brought us, as well as such a powerful energy and their love that we also can tap in, and that's actually one of the ways to make your wishes come true, to tap in your generational power.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I love it. All right, we've got another. Oh, we got two more. Okay, let's go with this one first. From Christine again. Guys, are there any books, tools, or resources you recommend for exploring the topics of death and spirituality? What a great question.
Yes, it's a great question. My favorite book is The Power of Now. It makes you so much more
Oh,
in the body. Such a great tool for spirituality. I don't agree with everything there. It's funny when I read it. I sometimes read it out loud for my audience. And I'm like, well, this I don't agree, but it's always a great idea there. So I would recommend that one for sure.
I like
excellent.
the book Die Wise. It's a manifesto for sanity and soul by Stephen Jenkinson. It really tackles the relationship that we have with death, and kind of teaches us how we can learn to die well and live well. We plan our lives, but we don't plan our death. We all just kind of decide we're just going to brush that off to the side. So he really explores the topic really well in his book, Die
Nice.
Wise.
Power of Now, Die Wise. Kim, you're up.
And The 7 Spiritual Laws of Success by Deepak Chopra. I love him. Everything about his experience really just resonates with me. I had written a chapter in a book about being depressed, and from that chapter, I actually analyzed all the different religious books out there and the spirituality books, and his book tended to fall into a lot of the quotes in that chapter more than anything else. Something to read.
Very cool. All right. Three amazing books. Hopefully that answered your question, Christine. We got one more here from Shutterbuggin. I wonder, how do you guys navigate working with clients whose spiritual beliefs differ from your own? Very interesting.
So I will say the realm of religion is so what we society kind of teaches us is so rigid, and whenever we really take the time to open our hearts and open our minds, there's so much more beyond the rigidness of Christianity or whatever religion. They all segue and intersect, and it is just a beautiful collection of energy, a beautiful collection of spiritual beings. Doesn't really matter what the religion is, because at the end of the day, we're we're all just energetic beings, and it's just having to strip ourselves of those limiting beliefs and those societal kind of tags that we've gotten put on us, just like Kim was talking about with the brainwashing. Sometimes we get caught in these cultural aspects and we think that it has to be this way. There's so much more opportunity.
All right, Kim, I think you were trying to say something.
Well, I bring in all kinds of clients of diverse spiritual and religious backgrounds, and I respect with empathy and openness anyone that comes my way. I foster an inclusive environment that honors unique beliefs while supporting their personal growth and well-being.
That's beautiful. Yeah. I believe in respect and acceptance. I think that those two will just remove all of the boundaries. So it completely doesn't matter what religion this is.
Perfect. All right, guys, we are at my favorite part of the show. We need to come up with a daily challenge to improve our spiritual health with a death doula. This is going to be a tough challenge to come up with. So, rules on the challenge. It has to happen every day. It has to take less than 5 minutes a day. It must cost $0, and it must be available to anyone from Haiti to Japan. Thoughts?
All right, I have one. That's where you put alarms throughout the day. And when alarm goes off, you ask yourself a few questions. First, you ask, how am I feeling right now? How am I feeling emotionally? How am I feeling physically? Second question is that, who does this belong to? Because sometimes we have anxiety, and when we ask, is it mine? And they're like, oh, actually, no, it's not mine. That's already release of some part of it, maybe 50%, maybe 99% of that. So second question would be, who does this belong to? In Access Consciousness, it's a huge organization. They work with energy. They have a specific, I think, website or at least an app on the phone you can download. It's called who does this belong to? So it will set alarm on your phone for you to ask this specific question. But I go a little bit like wider than that. And then after that, you ask yourself a question, how can I feel better right now? Or in Access, the question is, how does this get any better than this? But I ask, like, how can I improve? How can I feel better right now? So that takes less than 5 minutes, definitely helps with your spirituality. And if you live your life mindfully, you die wise, just like in that book. I love that.
All right, so we've got a couple questions. Any other thoughts, Kim or Megan?
I love that. That's all I can say. That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm getting out in nature and speaking out loud. Sometimes we tend to hold everything in and we wonder why certain things are happening. Talk out loud, talk to God, talk to the angels, talk to your ancestors who have passed, and just have that conversation out loud while you're taking a hike. God, I need your help with this. Can you speak like you're having a conversation and let them know exactly what you want and what you need help with. The more you open the line for communication, the more they can come in and help. If you don't ask, they don't know how they can help you.
This is so powerful. Wow.
I would love to share mine if that's what we're doing right now before the questions.
We're doing whatever we want right now, Kim.
Okay, cool. So I'm going to offer that you practice the pause for 5 minutes. Each day I challenge you to pause for 5 minutes. This simple practice can be profound, and it can be an impact on your social, spiritual, and emotional health. It can help you navigate your life transition. So here's how you can do it. Number 1, set an intention for the pause. Begin each 5-minute pause by setting a clear intention. For example, you might say, I pause to center myself in the present moment, or I pause to embrace the transition. And this aligns with the core idea of my work, fostering peace and presence. So breathe and reflect. You close your eyes, take a deep breath, and reflect on your feeling. You can use a journal after you pause within a minute. Take a few moments and write down any insights or thoughts that came up. And this helps in processing your emotions, understanding the deeper meaning behind life's transition, and helps you find clarity. And you ground yourself in stillness. So you use this 5 minutes to practice grounding techniques, like feeling the weight of your body or placing your hand on your heart. This grounding brings us back to the present moment. It's a crucial element when navigating both death and life's other transitions. So you express gratitude and you finish each pause by acknowledging something you're grateful for, something small, something simple. Even in the difficult times, you practice gratitude, which connects us to the bigger picture and helps us find peace. And it reinforces the spiritual connection and trust in life's flow.
All right. Ina, can you refresh what the 2 questions were that you said to ask?
That I wanted to ask.
Yeah, and your tip and your challenge.
Questions? I'm sorry. Do
So
you
there
mean
were,
my team?
you said there was 2 questions to ask yourself when I
Oh,
asked about the
the
challenge.
questions to ask yourself. First is how am I feeling physically and emotionally? Second one is who does this belong to?
All right. Oh man.
The
Okay.
gratitude is amazing one. I do like 15 things I'm grateful for in the now every day journal about that. And then 5 that is I'm grateful for that will be in the future. So it's like very powerful way of manifesting. Always suggest that. Love it.
All right. So awesome. Thank you, Kim. So we're gonna do our daily challenge. It's gonna be go outside. All right. Let's make sure this is under 5 minutes. Okay. So we're gonna pause for 1 minute. Sorry, Kim, we only have 1 minute time constraint. We're going to talk to your God or your ancestors or both. I like that. That's kind of an interesting, especially with the death doula topic. Maybe you talk to a lost loved one or you just ask questions there. Um, Practice some gratitude. Name 3 things you're thankful for. Thank you, Kim, for that. And ask yourself, how am I feeling and who does it belong to? Thank you, Ina, for that. I think that's a good culmination of all of them. And it should take about 5 minutes, yeah?
I need to adjust that though because if there is a theory that if someone passed away and it's been more than 2 years, I would say they usually give 1 year for like general grieving process. If it's more than 2 years, if you think about them every single day and you still feel so much sadness, it just drains so much of your energy that for such people who are ready to a little bit let go of this grief and sadness, I would highly recommend doing any type of healing work. So then
Yeah.
first of all, instead of sadness, you feel love and connection. Second one, you don't go back to these people every single day in your brain, remembering every day because it's just a lot after kind of recent loss. Ancestors, I think it's more of like great grandparents. They are great. We hold up to 7 generations of generational traumas and DNA in our body. So ancestors is not someone who passed away like recently, but a little bit further away from us. So it's more
Yeah.
giving love to you versus draining your energy in grief. That's just my perspective on this one.
That's good. That's a good addition. That's a good addition. Awesome. Well, guys, we have come and done what we did, and we came up with our challenge like we were supposed to. Thank you all so much. I'm going to put you all backstage and wrap up the show. Again, thanks for coming out. It was awesome having you guys. And
Yeah.
thank you so much for watching another episode of Millions Are Made. Hopefully, you learned a lot about witches, death doulas, and not witches, uh, and improve your spiritual health. We had 3 awesome guests. We learned a lot about how to just keep your spiritual health grounded. We have an awesome daily challenge. You're going to go outside, talk to your God or talk to past ancestors. Pause for a minute and just think, relax, ask yourself a couple of questions. What are you grateful for? 3 things. Ask yourself, how are you feeling mentally and physically? And who does this belong to? So we will be posting all of our videos slash maybe just typing posts